It is Wednesday. It is noon Eastern time. Of course, that means it's time for the High Noon Hemp Show. It's also the first Wednesday of the month, which is why you may hear these sirens in the
Oh, I
background.
thought they were coming for me.
It's not the Russians attacking. It's the test they do for some reason every single month on the first Wednesday. We like to think that it's announcing the very first High Noon Hemp Show of the month, but maybe not. Maybe it's for some other reason. I don't know. I am Joe Claire, aka Synergies. He is Beats. Of course, the High Noon Hemp Show we found live and video on demand on the Hemptations Beats Facebook page, the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel, and at Hemptations on Twitter. If you want the audio, you want to see all this wonderfulness before you, you can do that too. Podbean, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. Just search the High Noon Hemp Show to find the High Noon Hemp Show. High above the hemp quarters, as I mentioned, is the man himself, Beach. How are things this week in the world of Hemptations?
Things are wonderful in the world of Hemptations. It's true. I am high above the Sharonville location in the hemp quarters for this week's show, High Noon Hemp Show. I don't hear the sirens going off here, so I'm not sure if
They seem to have quit.
Sharonville's broken or what.
Cut it off or something. I don't know. Oh,
Well,
here it comes again.
so I'm not sure if
Speaking
they're recognizing the first show of the month this year here in Sharonville. So, thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate it as always. You can watch it at all those places and listen to it at those places as we can do. I watched the YouTube. The YouTube. I watched the YouTube. Sound like an old person. I watched the YouTube feed.
hold up in the old
So
YouTube.
if you're watching the live YouTube feed, you can communicate with me there. And if you're on the Facebook, then Joe will see you if you'd like to communicate with him there at Temptations Beach. So,
Indeed.
so I was at the medical marijuana meetup here in Cincinnati. I was doing this before COVID broke out. Bonnie, the organizer, she came to me and she's like, "Beach, I really want you to be here. I know you don't have anything to do with medical marijuana, but on the CBD side and the hemp side, it'd be great to have you, come and hang out with these. They're great little meetups. I mean, an unbelievable amount of diversity there, in which I may actually be now. If you didn't know, there is actually multiple hemp classes that you can take at the University of Cincinnati.
Wow.
Currently, they offer a class called Hemp and Hops. Once again, hemp and hops are basically as closely related, but two different species as you can get. Okay, so they're in the same family, um, and, uh, and so that was interesting. So I think that class is actually going to come and take a tour of the stores. The stores. I don't know what the stores are. Perhaps they're going to go somewhere else and go visit the stores. But here they're going to come visit the stores. So they get from watching BBC television before the show. Sorry, folks. So anyway, that's kind of cool. That's neat. They're gonna she's gonna bring the class up and I'm gonna take them through and educate them on
Wow.
all things of the hemp. And then um, the class I believe in the fall is actually a medical marijuana and hemp class. Okay, and um, and so I may be consulting, possibly teaching the actual hemp class. So that's awesome. Um, there's a lot of things going on again out there. It feels like as we get back to doing things, and again that meetup here in Cincinnati it's all things cannabis. That's for sure. And so it's really nice to catch up with people, whether they're hemp farmers. There was CBD. Somebody was showing off their CBD flower and how beautiful it was. And man, I tell you what, they're making the CBD flower more beautiful and beautiful every day. That's for sure. Um, and so that's that's the local that's the local whatnots that I have for you this week. Let's go ahead and get on with the product spotlight. This first one is actually two products, but they were together like this when I found them in the store. So I thought, okay, let's do this. That's a Dash Hemp. And again, these products are at the Sharonville location. You should be able to Dash Hemp. I'm pretty sure they're online for most of their clothing. But that's a Dash Hemp button down, short sleeve. And then the tie was actually made here at Planet Everywhere. And so that's a 2-for-1 in the product spotlight, which is actually 4 from the store, 1 from my door. This week's 5. Oh my golly, Wally, what's going to happen? I just said golly, Wally.
Right.
I did. Everyone heard it.
They heard it on YouTube.
They heard it on YouTube. This this next one is cat litter. How about that? I've been talking a lot about the shiv or the herd, those little chips that you can be used in, the hempcrete all the way to animal bedding or, in fact, cat litter. And so, again, a very environmentally safe cat litter, in my opinion, because again, that's just going to biodegrade wherever it is, wherever it goes to when you get rid of your cat litter. Um, I don't know about the absorption, which would be interesting. It's probably slower as far as absorption of liquids, but good old cat litter made of what we call hemp herd, um, for your kitties at home if you need it. The Mary Hempster's lip balm. Again, these guys have been making hemp lip balm for as long as the world has existed. If you ask me, definitely, I believe they started the same year we did, 1995. And so they've got a couple flavors of their lip balm with 50 milligrams of CBD. And so, again, the price point is right. It's only just a little bit more than their regular lip balm for that bonus CBD for your lips to keep them nice and healthy during the summer as it dries out and if you get out there in the sun. This last one is the Delta 8, the controversial Delta 8. And so these treetop gummies have become definitely crowd favorites here at Hemptations. And the Delta 8 is highly talked about. That was another thing last night, and everybody was asking me, about the Delta 8 stuff and whatnot. And so, that was a hot topic last night at the medical marijuana meetup as well. And so they got a nice little selection of Delta 8. Now, the one from my door is my golf tees. And I know I have shown these before, but because we are going to get back out and start golfing again, hitting some golf balls, I thought it was appropriate, which I think is great. Now, what I truly feel is basically awesome about this is that it says 4 hemp infused golf tees. They are made out of hemp composite. And so I think it's funny how that is described. But U.S. grown, I'm pretty sure Kentucky grown. I bought these from a kid who was making some stuff out of Kentucky grown hemp a year or so ago. I'm not sure where. I have to check in with them and see what's going on. So those are my golf tees. They're in my golf bag as we speak, ready for me to break or hit into a divot that goes 20 yards down the fairway. I am in no way a great golfer. I'm not sure that I am in any way a good golfer. So, but I do like to golf.
You need a little video of that for the show.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You-
The hemp tees in action.
Yeah.
That should make for some good comedy. See if I can find some hemp golf balls. Now that would be doing something. Not sure how to make that one work, honestly. I don't even think a hemp composite could survive my golf club. And a good golfer would maybe just explode on impact. Mine would probably just crack because again, not that good of a golfer. For putting only. But anyway, there you have it, folks. 4 from the store, 1 from my door on the High Noon Hemp Show here today.
Which brings us, of course, to what many people are waiting for. They're waiting for us to get through all the other stuff of the show to the most important part for them, because as I've pointed out before, they're sitting there nude. They have no idea what to do, and they're just waiting for guidance from Beach. That's why we have the Beachwear segment, the greatest segment in internet history, where I ask Beach the most important question of the day: what are you wearing, Beach?
Let me tell you, what am I wearing? Nude and confused is no way to get through life.
That's right.
But today, if you are nude and confused and you're like, hey, I need some hemp advice here, I've got my classic Hemp Times hemp hat made by Headcase. Hemp Company button down, short sleeve, embroidered with hemp here at the Planet Everywhere. My Kentucky Hemp Outfitters jeans. It was kind of one of those wet, rainy days, so I thought, you know what, I'll get one more wear of jeans in. Anyway, before it gets warm again. Green Spring Technologies pen right there in my pocket, as always. Some Hemptopia briefs. You can find them online. Satori socks. And my Wicked boots, because it's supposed to rain for a couple days. So I figured boots is probably a good idea. So there you have it, folks. If you are nude and confused and you want to know, what are you wearing, Beach?
Don't be.
Now you are no longer confused. You're still nude.
Could have got dressed.
I do get confused because I think it's actually naked, not nude. But that's a discussion. Someone's going to have to ask me the difference before I will explain it. But there is a difference, just so you know, between being naked and nude. Google can answer those questions for you. I am going to get back to the High Noon Hemp Show, where neither one of those are normally a subject. But hemp could make you look nude. Here's a clue: hemp could make you look nude.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something important. The U.S. Roundtable, and I think they're just trying to get behind this. The bill S1698, and this is a federal bill that's called Hemp Access and Consumer Safety Act. And what this would do, if it was passed, would make CBD approved as a dietary supplement and a food and beverage additive. So basically, means that the FDA would make it GRAS. I don't know what the bill says that would do that. I don't know if it just, again, because they make it sound like it paves the path. So maybe it's going to force the FDA to on whether hemp and CBD is GRAS or not. But you can, contact your state legislator, senator, and encourage him to co-sponsor this. Again, that's Bill S1698, the Hemp Access and Consumer Safety Act. And you can go to the U.S. Roundtable's portal, and they have, their website, they have a portal where you can sign a letter that will send it to your senator. So encourage that. Or just call the FDA every day. Call the FDA every day. I may start doing this myself. I'm telling them we want CBD, because hemp is already GRAS. Hemp oil is GRAS, which is generally regarded as safe. That's the official term for the FDA to allow you to put nutritional facts or be approved by the FDA under those categories, either dietary supplement. So now we just call it a supplement. It's not a dietary supplement, it's a supplement. And be allowed to put it on, a can. So if you put CBD on a can or in a food, you can put that in the label. Right now, you can't federally legally do that because it is not FDA GRAS. hemp oil is. So hemp food is grass. The chips or hemp seed oil or hemp seed and all that. That's the FDA is already years, a long time ago, um, made that product. This is specifically CBD for the most part. And I've got more on that and why it's actually really important to the state of California coming up later in the news. And so, again, we need to get the FDA on board with CBD. And again, I don't know what those tests need to be or what, but they should have started them 5 years ago and they would be done and we wouldn't have a dilemma.
Yeah.
And so, what's really funny about that, and now that I'm thinking back on it, is the fact that the FDA has put all those people at risk by not determining themselves that CBD is safe, even though we all know it is. um, you know, the FDA should have officially made it true. And again, it just makes it better for everyone because then it makes it easier to be legit. It seems like it's kind of a shady issue now with some people because the FDA hasn't approved it. And so I think people can use that to their advantage. But if the FDA does approve it, then I think that's a higher standard to hold to. So whether I agree with the FDA having a say one way or another, because it's an all natural substance, it's not been altered um, in any way to make it unnatural from its natural being. And so let's support that. Let's support that. Speaking of support, yesterday, June 1st, was the 25th anniversary of Woody Harrelson getting arrested in Kentucky for planting hemp seeds. So this happened literally 9 months, roughly or so. And this was about the same time that we were moving the location from Mount Lookout Square. We were only there for 9 months into the O'Brienville location 25 years ago. And so I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a semi big deal, but not really a big deal. Um, and then when he got to court, he was acquitted within like a half an hour by the jury. And again, it was only 4 hemp seeds, and they used some funny uh, actual drug laws or lack of, um, and whatnot. But that's it. He went down and he planted the hemp seeds and got arrested for it. And that was the start, in my opinion, of Woody Harrelson becoming the biggest name as an advocate for hemp. Um, especially back in the day. And if you watch some of his movies, he has hemp stuff in some of his movies, um, and whatnot. And so, anyway, thank you, Woody, for going public.
That's right.
Risking life, limb, and liberty in the state of Kentucky by planting 4 hemp seeds. But it was a definitive turning moment, and it was just pure coincidence. It was the same time that 9 months after we had opened the doors of Hemptations. And so good stuff. Um, let's see. We'll have to say too is I've been seeing a lot. I was going to post like 1 or 2 of these, but I saw probably like 5 different articles about traveling and the essentials for traveling, and CBD was on every one of them. And so now that people are getting back out again, all these people are take the right size bag. Don't do this. Don't do that. Make sure you have some CBD. Which I think is very appropriate. Honestly, I don't. I'm not sure if I may have used CBD the last time I flew, but it's been a while since I flew before COVID. But I would say that the next time I fly, when I fly again, if I fly again, I'll definitely be high dosing the CBD. And of course, I just, they were like capsules and this and that, but I just carry my CBD vape pen right in. They don't, you can do that.
Hmm.
I mean, I do know the last time I traveled, I had my CBD. I had a couple different CBD pens with me that I just took through on my back, my travel, my carry on, I should say. So if you're traveling, remember, get your CBD. If it causes you anxiety in any way, and I feel like, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Um, that would definitely help. Definitely help. Um, here's a fun pick. This is a British company brand, very good and proper, and these chairs are called the Latte Garden chairs, and they're made from recycled plastic and hemp fibers. Developed by a company called Trifalon, which is actually a Swedish materials specialist. And so, once again, I love stuff made out of hemp composite. What's interesting is they could have just made the whole thing out of hemp if they wanted to, but it's recycled, so they're recycling plastic and making the chairs out of them. So that's just as great as well. Instead of whatever plastic that was going to the landfill, recycle all the plastic and make some chairs out of it, um, and then put some hemp in it because they say the hemp strengthens.
Nope. Good. Glitchy beach or frozen beach?
And lightens. I'm back. Am I back?
I think so.
Um,
There we go.
and so, yes, that is an awesome. I love chairs made out of hemp. That's super cool. And we got a dance magazine article, and it was titled "Topical Pain Relievers are the next item on your um, self-care supply list." Man, I'm forgetting how to read all of a sudden. And okay, and the very first one was CBD, and so once again, another group of athletes recognizing the benefit of CBD. And I can totally get this because dancing, just like basketball, has to wreak havoc on your ankles, your knees, your hips. Um, and so I can definitely understand why a CBD topical would benefit a dancer um, on a daily basis. You know, whether you dance for fun on a daily basis or you make a living dancing on a daily basis, semi daily basis. Again, it's just another group of athletes that are recognizing the benefit of CBD. So cool, cool. This next picture, I was excited and then I was disappointed. This company is called Hemp Black, and I thought that they were going to be making these workout outfits in hemp, but no, they're actually infusing CBD into these. But I will give them credit. I do like this, and this is why I stuck with them, is because they are using 85% recycled nylon, and so um, nylon as a synthetic, once again, not great for the planet in any way, but they're recycling nylon to make these outfits, and then they're just infusing them with CBD, which I suppose would be great for the first couple times. I don't know, I mean, I can't see how that could last.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, you could conceivably do the same thing if you had a CBD spray or a topical and just rubbed it on your skin, then put your tights on. Um, but so it's another one of those products. And again, for a while there on the show, we were talking about CBD infused stuff that was just ridiculous. And I
Mm.
haven't seen, it's like there was a moment where there was that brief amount of time where people were like, why are you putting CBD in this? And then that kind of went away because I think people caught on to how ridiculous it was. Um, to do that. And this is kind of like that. But, I mean, I get it, but, it is what it is. So, um, let's see here. What's next? Oh, this is kind of interesting. On Top Chef Portland, the contestant, her first meal was mushrooms and pickled asparagus dumplings with hemp seed oil vinaigrette. Sounds absolutely delightful, right? Well, guess what she didn't know? She didn't know, and if she'd been watching the High Hemp show, the High Noon Hemp Show, that's the name of my show, 130 episodes in, you'd think I'd know that, the High Noon Hemp Show. She would know that trying to fry or cook with high heat in hemp oil was a big no-no.
Oh,
So she proceeded to find out that her hemp seed oil vinaigrette did not work well with her electric stove in heating her dumplings and basically destroyed the meal.
wow.
Okay. And so what she did learn that hemp has a high smoke point, which is what I've been telling you, or flash point, um, which again,
Nope. We glitched again. A little bit. And you can see if you're watching at home, scrolling below.
okay, here we go.
There we
Oh,
go.
we're
Beach.
back again.
I hear
That was
beach.
quick. I'm
Still
kind of
frozen.
back. What am I doing?
Just
Should I
beach
move
all.
and
There
just
we
go like
go.
this so you know I'm here? I'm here. I'm here. So anyway, don't use hemp oil to fry foods or with high heat. Great salad dressing. She should have made the dumplings how she made them and then maybe poured the oil on top. I don't know how that works, but obviously, uh, you know, a big learning point for America. If you were watching Top Chef Portland,
Yeah.
uh, don't fry, don't fry with it. As great as hemp oil is, don't fry with it. Do not put heat to it unless you are wanting energy or light,
Mhm.
because it will burn and give you light, and it will also run your diesel engine uh, because of that. So, um, here's an interesting quote from someone. We are not saying no to CBD. That's the Philip Morris International CEO.
Well,
So here comes your Marlboro CBDs, folks. And the hempettes, as we call them, have they've got their own little niche now, and there's a decent crowd of people that really like their hempettes. So it does not surprise me at all that this market is something that they're gonna get into. The funny thing is you've got some states that like Kentucky that have banned smokable CBD. So you're going to try to be excluded from one of the heaviest smoking tobacco states because their laws say you can't sell these, whereas they should be legal in 50 states. They're legal federally. CBD is legal federally. Smoking it, although yes, should come with a warning. Humans shouldn't smoke anything. Isn't any different than someone choosing to use the tincture. It's just a way for them to get the CBD into their system. Um, and again, not encouraging smoking in any way, but it is a lot times healthier than tobacco, pure and simple. All right. Now, what I don't look forward to is Philip Morris spraying all their tobacco chemicals, and they're not tobacco chemicals, the chemicals they spray on tobacco
yeah.
onto the CBD flower. Because I guarantee you they are going to do that. And they tobacco has everything from burn accelerators to burn decelerators. So there's an accelerator added to it so that when you hit it and it hits the air, it burns faster. There's a decelerator in it that when you're not hitting it, it actually keeps it or slows it down from burning so you don't fall asleep and fucking burn your bed down with your cigarette because they're highly addictive and people sleep in bed with them. But anyway, that's just two chemicals out of the 500 or so that the tobacco companies add to tobacco. before it gets to you.
Yeah. I can't imagine, given the choice with all the CBD out there, that people would be clamoring for Philip Morris CBD. They're going to have to hide it and who they are and try to repackage it as something else because people know it's Philip Morris. Why would they bother?
I hope that's, especially when there are plenty of uh, high quality CBD hemp bets on the market. You can buy it online just as easily as you can come in and buy it from us. And so we can only hope that once again their moral beliefs put them so far behind that it will give all the small players an opportunity to not have to mess with them. But when they're on the shelves at every gas station,
Yep.
Anyway, it is what it is. It's like I've always said, when a big company like this gets behind it, it just actually adds to the legitimacy of what we're doing and the demand and that the consumers want. And so we'll see what happens. Coming to you soon, I'm sure of that. Um, so this last pick, this is the Nike, and of course they were released yesterday, and I can't find them anywhere because they sold out on every website that they had them. I was a day too late in learning these shoes existed to begin with. But they're actually called the Hemp Smoke. It's actually the Lehar Low, but it's nicknamed the Hemp Smoke because the top is meant to be hemp and represent hemp, and then all the black is actually meant to represent smoke, which you can see from that sole. How they've kind of taken that gray part below the black and kind of made it smoky looking. And so, um, Nike trying to appeal to those stoners and those hemp lovers, which is great, But of course, they don't make them and then ship them to every place that buys Nikes, or gives Foot Action a contract to sell them, or Dick's a contract to sell them and make enough. They just make enough so as they can supply all these little websites, and then they sell out. And dang shoe dilemmas. I need to get a connection at Nike or something.
Right.
I need an inside connection. Somebody, anybody, please. Well, that's all the news I got for this week out there. There's some events going on this weekend. June 5th actually is finally Hemp-a-Philadelphia Expo in the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center in Oaks, Pennsylvania. And again, hemp jewelry, hemp clothing, and CBD and medical marijuana. And so should be a very well-rounded cannabis expo, which we like to see for sure. And then end of June, if you're in Pennsylvania, June 25th through the 27th, you've got the Pennsylvania Hemp Festival in Honesdale, Pennsylvania. Also that weekend, if you're in North Carolina, or at least around Fletcher, North Carolina, you've got the Southern Atlantic Hemp and Arts Expo in Fletcher, North Carolina. July 12th, I love this. I added this purely because of everything about it for the most part. But on July 12th, there's an event called Hemp, Coffee, and Books. Literally three of my favorite things in life. I drink my coffee out of a hemp mug while I read my books. But the event is only from 5 p.m. to 6:10 p.m. I just want to throw that out there. 6:10 p.m. is when it ends. And again, this is in at the Cafe Dryad. I believe that's how it's pronounced, in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And so, if you're in the Chapel Hill area and you like hemp, coffee, and books, and you have an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 10 minutes to spare,
your coffee book again
is made. I might fly in to this event because I have an hour to spare for it. Oh shoot! And then July 17th through the 23rd, we got Hemp Week. We celebrate hemp for an entire week. This is one of those things for me. It's like, well, I celebrate hemp every day, but I'll take a whole week from everybody else. We can get it. We'll take it. Kicking off that July 17th is down in Frankfurt. You've got the Kentucky CBD and Hemp Show at the Capitol Plaza, and so that's a good kickoff if you're in Kentucky to Hemp Week. Is attend hemp and CBD. See, that's the difference they're making. When I see CBD expos, I'm not very excited.
Yeah.
If they imply there's going to be hemp stuff and hemp goods and stuff like that, then that's a true cannabis support. And that's pretty much it. End of August, we got the Southern Hemp Expo, so start planning for that in Nashville. That's a huge event. That is an event worth flying into or driving to if you are over here in the Midwest or the East Coast, depending on how far you are away from Nashville. Um, because this is the same as NOCO, and NOCO is the biggest event out in Denver. And this is the same people, and this is they've only been doing the Southern Hemp Expo for a year or two. I'm pretty sure it was canceled last year, and so we may go down. I may go down this year. We'll see, because it is huge. And then of course August 21st as well. They're bringing back, and I didn't hear anything about it, the Ohio Cannabis. Oh no, that's a different event. That's in Cleveland. I'll worry about that later. It's in August. That's not nearly as big as the Southern Hemp Expo in Nashville. And with that, folks, I don't have any questions. Um, I don't. I guess I don't necessarily have any beach thoughts this week. I mean, I had a lot of beach thoughts this week. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure that if I have any beach thoughts really relevant to the hemp world, because this is the High Noon Hemp Show. Um, that I probably didn't already discuss. I mean, really the whole bill getting FDA. That if I was to reiterate anything and have a defiant thought about, it would be the fact that once again we need to get the FDA to get on board um, with an official yes, this is safe for humans, and then that really takes off one of the last pressures that we're seeing. And I think I skipped over it, in fact, and I can't believe I skipped over it. But California, and they just sent a statement out to this effect. Now, originally it was, and this was years ago, no CBD in food or drinks in the state of California. Cannot be done. Totally illegal. Well, if you read closely to that, it also includes topicals. So at this point, California has said you can't put CBD in a cream. You cannot put CBD in a lotion and legally sell it in the state of California. And again, it's hard to believe that California could get any more absurd than they are when it comes to CBD, because it is just an absolutely absurd stance um, to say that you can't put it in a topical. I mean, it doesn't even make it into your bloodstream. So, I mean, you're taking the health risk, if there is one, down to like an nth degree, because it doesn't even get a chance to get into your bloodstream and then travel and go into your brain. And so, if it's unhealthy for you, all that stuff, which it's not, because I've clearly explained in the past, and someone needs to explain to the government in California about the endocannabinoid receptors that our brain and body is full of. It's a medical fact. And so, why would our brains and our body have receptors for chemical compounds unless our bodies were literally physically made to use those chemical compounds? and that's THC, that's CBD, that's CBN, CBG, all those things. Our brain has developed receptors to make sure. And what it does, and this is how it works, and this is the magic of it, in my opinion. It's not magic, it's science. It's science magic. But because of this, no matter how you take CBD in, no matter how you smoke it, vape it, tincture, um, eat it, no matter how you take it into your system, consume it, so to speak, it goes to the brain. The brain says, I have this. Where does it need it? And the receptors in your body say, I need it here. I need it here. I need it here. I need it here. And it sends it there. I mean, that's the science of the endocannabinoid receptor system of the human body. And so, that's why it's so difficult to believe, even if you don't know anything about it. It's difficult to believe that these chemical compounds are harmful. Which, of course, we've never proven. Never been a death from THC. No one has ever overdosed in the history of time and use of cannabis from THC. I think they figured out the amount of THC that it would take to kill someone, and it wouldn't be humanly possible to consume it.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the strongest chemical in cannabis that we have found. That is by far the strongest chemical of cannabis. Not one single death. And so, when you're looking at CBD and all these other cannabinoids, they're not nearly as strong on the body, so to speak, or the mind. The side effects. And so, once again, proving that nature is working with us because we are from nature, and the food and drink thing. Um, I understand there's a line there when you're approving or not approving something for someone to eat. That's for sure. But again, the state of California, the FDA, they're not doing anybody any favors by saying you can't consume this in food and drinks. They're not. All they're doing is telling you, well, then you have to go back and add it to your own food and drinks. You can buy it in tincture form. That's totally fine. Well, you know what? I don't know if they can buy it in tincture form in California, to be honest with you. I'm going to check into that. Because where does that fall? And their absurd CBD laws, I almost wonder. If you can buy CBD in any form, and if you can get it as a tincture, then you can add that to your own food and whatnot. But what an interesting conundrum that California has put their citizens in. In all honesty, when the CBD is getting grown there, it's another one of those places like Kentucky where you can't buy the flower, but there's more CBD getting grown in Kentucky than a lot of places. There's absurd because you can grow it and you can sell it to someone else out of state or for it to go out of state, but you cannot sell it to someone in state to sell in state. 0 cents right there. And again, there's 0 cents in California telling people that they can't use CBD as a topical. Again, 0 cents. There might be like a 1% cents to not put it in food and drinks. There's a 0% for them to say you can't use this in a topical. So wise up. But again, as my beach thoughts started, we need the FDA more than anything to go ahead and make CBD grass, and then I think California would get rid of theirs, because that's the reason they came out and said that, is because, hey, if the FDA is not going to say it's okay, then we're going to tell you it's not okay, because that's what happened.
Yeah.
because California could say it's fine, or they could have just stayed out of it. They could have stayed out of it and just said, well, you know, that doesn't mean the FDA knows what it's doing. But anyway, no, instead of that, they said, well, if the FDA isn't going to say that it's grass, then we're going to tell you it isn't.
Mm.
So, terrible, California, terrible. And again, terrible for the FDA. They have been, there have been people telling them, whether it was government officials, people in the industry or whatnot, that it's super important to do this, and they've done nothing. They've had at least 2 years, going on 3 years with the 2018 Farm Bill, which took CBD off the controlled substance list. The minute that happened, the FDA should have been working to figure out whether extracts, specifically CBD or whatever, CBN, all of them, whatever, extracts, any extracts, they already all existed here, safe for humans to consume. And instead, they just do not. They're doing nothing, and they're still doing nothing. And so, all we need is to know that it's grass, and we can walk away. Just, all these industries can have a weight lifted off their legal conscience, so to speak, and the industry can move forward the way it needs to. Still not there yet. I was just talking last night about how it was like, well, honestly, to make it the 1%, which is what we want, would take maybe the USDA to do something. But honestly, it's going to be the new farm bill. And I was like, well, you know what? Actually, the new farm bill is right around the corner. So we should be looking next year, probably for a new farm bill. So again, now more than ever, we got to be pounding this stuff into their heads. Letting them know that when they start talking about hemp in the new farm bill, because there's stuff that needs to be advanced from the last farm bill, that 1% is important. There's a lot of other things, even if it's the FDA thing somehow. I don't know. I don't know how they can do that, but so we'll see. But that needs to happen. The FDA, there are still a lot of, and again, until it's treated like corn or soy, we're not done in the industry, because that's the fair thing to do, is to treat it like corn and soy. Not like poppies and what they call marijuana. You know what I mean? And so there you have it, folks. My beach thoughts on the High Noon Hemp Show. And I think that's all I got. So remember, produce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having hemptations.
See y'all next week.